Hey, what's up, family? Welcome to Ask the Mods.
where we challenge you to stop playing and start pushing.
This right here is my beautiful wife, Yon.
And this right here is my provider, my husband, Aize. All right, y'all, we're going to get right into today's question. This question comes with all kinds of issues, so I'm going to get right to it. It's coming from a woman who's titled herself as Hopeless Mom. Please help. Should I stay or should I go? I have been married for 17 years. I have three beautiful children, 13, 11, and 6. There is a lot of background to my story. My husband is 35. He was unfaithful. He had an affair with a 16-year-old girl. His affair was mostly emotional, but it was physical on one occasion. Not justifying, just explaining. He had a very intense makeout session with this girl where he did touch her breast and private areas under her clothing. I found out they kissed. I wasn't aware of the touching at this point. Anyway, I turned him in to her mother and the authorities. My husband is disgusted in himself. He regrets it deeply. I don't know what to do. I am in no way able to sustain my household on my own. She says, my husband is making sincere efforts to gain back my trust and be an honorable man. I don't know if it's to save face or if it's real. It is so shocking to realize that this good, loving man that I have adored and cherished for so long that it's not even someone that I know. He hasn't gone to court yet. The case is still being investigated, and I'm sure he will have to serve some jail time. I feel so sorry for this young woman. She said to her mom that she didn't like my husband in that way, but she hated me and wanted to hurt me, so she seduced him. I'm so lost and confused. My children are suffering. They beg me to not break up with dad. Sadly, my oldest daughter saw them kiss, and that is how I found out, so I can't hide it from her. Please pray for my family. Please pray for this 16-year-old to get the help she needs, and please pray that I make the right choices. I'm so confused. I feel disgusted in myself that I'm in love with a man that can put his hands on a 16-year-old girl. They had text conversations for over a year that he denied and lied to me about until I confronted him with proof. He told her he loved her. He told her things about me. He cut his hair for her. She asked him to wait for her until she was 18, and he said he would be here. I don't know what that means. It's so hard to remove my emotion from the situation and make rational decisions. I'm just feeling hopeless and broken. I've started counseling. Good job. I'm just so confused. I've always been a good wife and mom, and I know I have to be strong right now. I know he is sorry, but I think if I didn't turn him in, he'd still be fooling around. My.
You definitely made the right decision to turn him in. Your husband got issues. You know, his issues go way beyond you. And until he's willing to look at himself in the mirror and be held accountable and do some self reflection, some self work, some deep self work, you all may need to part ways because you might not need to walk this part of the journey with him. Based off of what you shared, I mean, he was messing with her when she was 15. If she was 15, 16, or 17, or 18, or even 25, number one, he cheated on you.
Right.
But number two, he's cheating on you with a minor, a girl that's 3 years older than your daughter.
Oh, Lord.
Your daughter sees him cheating with you with somebody who's 3 years her senior. I mean, what type of reverberating effects is that going to have on her? Psychologically, emotionally. I mean, that's going to penetrate her deeply. And so it's so much trauma, so much pain that's been caused based off of his dumb decision that he made based off of his ineptitude and just his internal sense
Brokenness.
yeah. That now you all are sitting there and left to bury that particular cross or bear that particular cross. And so what I'll say to you is that, I mean, I definitely think that it's a positive thing that you're getting some help, that you're engaged in counseling. The one thing I don't want you to do is to personalize this and make this necessarily all about you or your fault. I don't want you to feel like you caused any of this. Dude has got his own stuff that he needs to work on, and you're not responsible for what he did. I think that what you're responsible for right now is you and those three other children.
That's right.
Take care of them. He got to go through his path. He got to go through his journey. He got to deal with the consequences as they come. And part of the consequences, I think, should be that y'all ain't together no more. He don't deserve you doing something like that. He got to get healed. And in order for him to get healed, sometimes you got to be by yourself and deal with that. And in that quietude, he can experience the pain that he's caused everybody else, along with the pain that he's caused himself. So, sister, keep on doing your work. And I think you're moving in the right direction. And I know it's painful, But without pain, there is no progress.
Mm-hmm. So I just want to acknowledge that y'all got history. And I know for all of those out there who are looking at the video and like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that. Why are you even asking that question? You need to roll out, leave that man, what have you. Just think about your situation. Think about one you've been in where, you found out this or you found out that. He told you he wasn't with nobody, but he had somebody on the side. Or, he told you he was working, but he ain't had no job, or he got fired, or, whatever. He told you that was his house and that wasn't even his house. Then he told you that was his car, that wasn't his car, whatever it is, right? I'm certainly not minimizing the weight of this issue, but just understand that when you have history with somebody, it's not an easy thing to process in your body and in your mind as to how this situation that you're dealing with can somehow be congruent with what you know of the person. I mean, you said that. You said, I don't understand how this person who I've been loving and this loving man can be this person. Mm-hmm. And so you found out something about him that you didn't know. I agree with my husband that this is not your situation to be responsible for it, in the sense that you need to bear the burden of it, because you already got to deal with the grief of it. But you also do have to, in the process, without judgment, ask yourself, how is it for a year I was with someone who was able to carry on a relationship? Now, maybe he was really clever, and maybe he was really sneaky, and maybe he was really, tying up all the loose ends to make sure you didn't know. But oftentimes, at least more often than not, there are signs. There are things that come up for women in relationships when they're being cheated on, even for dudes, for whomever's being cheated on, right? There's stuff that we deny, that we choose not to see consciously and unconsciously. And so I just want to kind of throw that out there, not for you to be thinking that you need to somehow be responsible for something, but you do need to pay attention to getting a lesson out of this in terms of your own actions, because I'm sure you could probably look back and say, something was off right there. Something right there. And something about who you are and what you bring to the relationship has allowed you on some level to not see what you perhaps could have seen sooner. Mm-hmm. I don't know. So I just want to suggest that. The other piece is this. I don't want to deny the fact that every single human being has the possibility of transformation. Mm-hmm. Even pedophiles. Yeah, I said it. Even pedophiles, even the ones that we really just want to just burn in hell, right? People hear that and they're like, no, they just need to go to hell and be locked up in jail forever. But the reality is that every person has room for transformation. So I know as a wife who has this history with your husband, you're like, well, he's really disgusted with himself. He has issues, and that's what women do. When he grew up, he had this happen to him and that happened to him, and he went through all of this. And so, we have some sense of understanding about why he is the way he is. That is the case. But here's how you know when it's time to roll. Here's how you know when it's time to tap out. When the stakes are too high. Because, sometimes people do make decisions to stay in situations where folks got a lot of baggage and a lot of stuff to work through, and they want to be with you. They want to stay with the person, and the stakes are too high. Mm-hmm. Your husband put his hands on a minor. You have minors with you. I'm not saying that he would do anything to them, but I'm not saying that he wouldn't. I'm not saying that the impact of your staying with him while your daughter knows what has happened will be super duper damaging to her life, but I'm not saying that it won't. The stakes are too high. You don't know what the transformation will look like. You don't know how long it will be. You don't know how many relapses there will be. And when you relapse, and your relapse looks like you touching another minor, well, there's got to be some non-negotiable terms. We can't have that relapse. I can't be a part of that. I can't be in your cipher. I can't be in your circle when you relapse in that way. You relapse and you pick up a cigarette, I'm back. I'm right with you. Come on, let's do it. Let's get going. You understand what I'm saying? You relapsing, maybe even bounce the checkbook. I know this is an area you're working on, right? You working on that money thing. I'm gonna stick with it. But you relapse and you hollering at some little girl getting off the school bus. Nah, there has to be some non-negotiable standards. So you do need to move on. You don't need to be confused. I know it hurts. You are doing the right thing in terms of getting the counseling. You just have to let go. And you've got to allow the process to unfold as it is. I heard you say you don't have the means to sustain your household. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, I don't have the solution for you. But guess what? A solution is there. The Creator always provides, but you have to partner with the Creator, and you have to have courage to step out and figure out how you're going to do it. No, let me take that back. Figure out when and how you're going to get the courage The Creator will provide the how. Don't worry about that. Yeah, easier said than done, but just have faith that you're doing the right thing. And when you do the right thing, all things that you need align up. They line up to you. Oh, don't I know that to be the truth? Peace and blessings to you. We pray for you that you will continue on and that you'll do what you need to do in the midst of the pain. Because at the end of the day, the only way that you can get through something like this is to stop playing
and start pushing.